AFA Today on AFR Talk. The phone number 888-589-8840. Glad to be here every single weekday from the AFA Today studios in New York City. And thank you for making a part of your lineup. Kevin McCullough, glad to be with you. We're talking today about the naked power grab that Harry Reid made yesterday. Again, I do apologize for having used the word Harry Reid and naked in the same sentence. It's not a good thing, but that's what they did. And in the process of changing the rules by which the American congressional body operates, the goal is that they're just going to cram through a ton of stuff without having to work with the minority party in any way. There are some strategies that people are suggesting on how to deal with this. One of the things that they do in the Senate all the time is they give unanimous consent on something that is procedural that they think is not going to be an issue. It's like, should we take a vote to end today or to begin the next piece of business? Or there are a number of things that they can just give unanimous consent. One of the ideas I've seen floated today is that Republicans should say, okay, no more unanimous consent. You got to vote on literally every single thing. Friends, we still got 2.5 more years of this. That will slow it down some. Maybe it'll slow it down enough to not let some things through. I'm not exactly sure of what. But one thing is clear. The president, the vice president, and the Senate Majority Leader all said in 2005, when the mere idea that this was even possible, that someone could do this, came forward, they palpitated and huffed and puffed their way to the microphones. And this is what Vice President Joe Biden said as Senator Joe Biden in 2005 about breaking the filibuster rules.
Isn't what really is going on here? The majority doesn't want to hear what others have to say, even if it's the truth. Senator Moynihan, my good friend who I served with for years, said, "You're entitled to your own opinion, but not your own facts." The nuclear option abandons America's sense of fair play. It's the one thing this country stands for, not tilting the playing field on the side of those who control and own the field. I say to my friends on the Republican side, you may own the field right now, but you won't own it forever. And I pray God when the Democrats take back control, we don't make the kind of naked power grab you are doing, but I'm afraid you will teach my new colleagues the wrong lesson.
Huh. Wow. Nice use of the word naked power grab, Joe Biden. Wow. Anybody want to hire me for campaign consulting for 2014? I think I've got the strategy down. Yeah, give me a call if you're interested. I think I know some good video pieces that might make great campaign commercials in the 2014 and 2016 election cycles. 888-589-8840. Your thoughts as the Democrat just went all out, said we're not even going to pretend to be interested in working with, I don't know, the other more than half of the country that's out there. Democrats only make up about a third of the country, right? Because you got about a third of people that are Democrat, about a third of the people that are Republican. You got a third of people like me. They're somewhere in the middle. They follow issue by issue. They follow candidate by candidate. They don't give their allegiance to any party. So this is the Democrats saying, hey, yeah, what's the matter? Yeah, we don't care anything about you. You're 66%. Yeah, you just be done. We're done with you. Be gone. 888-589-8840. Let's go to Jeff in Maryland. Jeff, thank you for your patience. You're on with Kevin McCullough. Glad you're here.
Thank you for taking my call. First-time caller. Big amen to you and to your callers there, especially I'm a truck driver also like the other guy was. Mm-hmm. He took a lot of the words right out of my mouth, to be honest with you. I just like to say you're doing a good job, and it's very needful what you're doing, and I agree with most everything you guys are saying.
All right.
I don't see how somebody can claim to be a Christian, and Christians are voting for these people. They have to be. They wouldn't be elected. There's a lot more Christians in this country than they want to let you know, for real, I believe. Most of us all believe in God, and we're either Catholics, for the majority are Catholics or Protestants. I'm a Protestant, but, it's a shame when people that claim to be Christians are voting for these people. and the complacency of the church. You know what I mean? I don't understand. I believe America's political dilemma and moral dilemma is a direct reflection
I'm with you
on
there,
spiritual.
Jeff. There's no doubt about it. I think the moral dilemma is the much bigger issue. And that's why it's important for me to understand when I'm watching them change the rules like this, that's a moral issue. It's not a political issue. Here's the mistake if you're listening to me today thinking, oh, Kevin's always talking about politics. Why has he got to talk about that politics so much? I'm not talking about politics. This is not a political discussion. I'm not taking sides. I'm not telling you who to vote for. What I'm saying is there's a lack of any moral uprightness in this move. This is a moral failure by the people that we elected and sent to Washington to do the work for us. And we're enabling them to think that they are bigger than us. We're enabling them to think that they have some sort of power over us. We're giving them all of the right to say, hey, we are the elites and you are the uneducated slum dogs out there. It's a caste system, and we're making them the upper levels. Friends, you may really love the fact that we elected an African American for president. I'm glad that the country found it in their heart to be able to do that. I don't think that skin color, though, should have anything to do with whether or not your policies are right. And your policies should be understood and studied for what they are, regardless of who you are. And on that level, this is the most intolerant, immoral, propagandizing, strategizing, and I think undermining administration we've ever had. And I think they put all of the administrations before them to shame in terms of their naked ambition. 888-589-8840. But your thoughts, not mine. I want to take your call. Let's talk to Buddy calling from Texas. Hi, Buddy. Welcome. You're on with Kevin McCullough.
Kevin, I appreciate you picking up this phone and letting me talk to y'all.
Sure thing.
But I think it's going to come down to the Old Testament laws. All of us Christians that trust in the Lord and know how to pray and lift up the name of the Lord, Jesus, if we was all to go to the White House and march around it, just singing and giving God all the glory, praising Him, and all you truck drivers to go and stop any kind of crazy traffic that tries to stop us, and just march around praying and fasting every day, rebuking the name, rebuking all the sin inside the White House. And
Buddy, I appreciate what you're saying, but let me get to this point because we're short on time and I want to make sure we get as many people in as we can. 888-589-8840. Rebuking the sin of the White House is not what we should be concerned about. The White House exists because of our sin. The White House exists in its current state because of what we didn't do. So thinking about how we've got to tell God to take care of those sinners over there, that's missing the point. We have to clean up our act. We have to become more involved. We have to know what our representatives are doing and what they should be doing and how they should be voting. We have to run for office. We have to stand up and make a speech. We have to be counted when a school curriculum comes into our neighborhood that we don't want our kids exposed to. That's not some job of everybody coming together and yelling at D.C. for a day. I don't have a problem with that. I'll be leading the pack, man. But to say, God, you got to clean up all their sin, that misses the point. We're not going to be a better nation until we start growing better people. And until the people that say they are people of God begin to act like people of God, we don't deserve a different nation. 888-589-8840. Let's talk to James in Tennessee. Hi, James. You're on with Calvin McCullough. Glad you're here.
Yeah, hi. You're spot on. I really agree with what you said to your last caller. I just wanted to make a comment, kind of like in the guy about 2 or 3 back. As I've been watching what's been unfolding there, I'm becoming more and more afraid that the Democrats are going to pull something, and we won't have a 2016 election. I think that's a real something to be really concerned about. I think they potentially could steal the 2014 election with voter fraud, but I really think that there is a good cause to worry about the fact that we'll even have a 2016 election.
Which means then, James, that 2 things, and you're exactly right, and I appreciate your insights and your encouragement. Thank you. There's 2 things there that I want us to pick up on what you said. The attempt to steal 2014 through voter fraud. There's one way that they can't steal it through voter fraud, if it's not close. The only way that elections can be stolen is if you suppress turnout. The only way that President Obama got reelected for a second term with 9 million fewer votes than he got in his first term, which had never happened historically. You had never had a president elected with fewer votes than he was originally elected with. You have to run a close election. You have to, because that's where then the quote finding of the extra votes and the undiscovered package of write-in votes. If you win by 10%, 15%, 20%, that's not going to happen. If it's under 5, that's where we got to. And so I guess my encouragement is, I know it's hard, friend. I know it's a pain. It's so far away. We're thinking, why do I have to be diligent on this end? Well, there are some resources at your disposal to keep you informed and then to keep you ready. One of them is talk radio voices that you trust. One of them is websites that you can get information from. I write a syndicated piece every week. It comes out on Town Hall and One News Now, and those are 2 sites that I don't have any problem hesitating. I don't hesitate at all to recommend to everybody. Get plugged in. It doesn't mean you've got to know as much stuff as I do every day. I'm going to do my job and tell you about what needs to be known and making sure that we have a certain degree of clarity that is displacing the confusion, because there's a heavily sizable sum of investment that has been placed in keeping you permanently confused. We're going to do everything we can to peel that back every single day. But at the end of the day, it's if it's close, expect them to try to cheat. Expect cheating to occur if the election is close. If we are on the grassroots, one by one, talking to our neighbors, helping to understand, it's not about partisan politics. It's not about voting for a Republican or a Democrat. It's about voting for fairness. It's about voting for what is right. It's about voting for what is good. It is about voting for what is true and for what is just. We have to do that. That's something that only we can communicate. The media is not invested in following our what we say. 888-589-8840. Your thoughts. A couple of callers before we say goodbye today. Let's talk to David in Oklahoma. Hi, David.
Good morning. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for taking my call. First of all, I don't know why anyone is at all surprised by what happened yesterday and Harry Reid and this bunch doing the nuclear thing. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past this evil, vile, vicious party, and they will do anything to grab more power and trample the Constitution, I believe. And what we need to do going forward is, I feel sorry for all these people that's losing their health insurance and all of that, but we don't need to be feeling sorry for any of the Democratic House and Senate people. We need to dump it on them every way we can. I think from this day forward, we need to quit calling it the Obamacare. It needs to be something like the old Democare Democratic.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that have tried to name it, David, and I'm not sure that giving it a new nickname is really gonna change much about it. Although I will say this, I agree with you. I think we should be unloading on our senators and congressmen every day. 202-224-3121. That's the number that connects you to their office, and until they disconnect it, we should use it. We should be kicking and screaming about what the Senate did yesterday, and we should be letting congressional and Senate representatives know that. We should be alerting them to the fact that they have abandoned their responsibilities as legislators, and they have redefined some of that job description to include things that it's never included before, like being a rubber stamp to the jolly well whatever we please administration, which is what I'm officially renaming this administration. It's the Barack jolly well whatever I please Obama administration from now on, because that's pretty much how it's gone. Maybe you disagree. We didn't have one disagreeable caller today, but if you do disagree, we push you to the front of the line. My email address is kmcradio@gmail.com if you do disagree. My Facebook page is facebook.com/KMC01. And, of course, the AFA Today homepage, afatoday.com. And all you could possibly want to take a look at on afr.net and afa.net as well. Kevin McCullough, so glad to have you with us. Please join us on Monday as we reunite the binge thinkers focused on obliterating confusion, replacing it with truth, and pursuing clarity at every turn. Have a good weekend. Focal Point with Brian Fisher is next.